The salvage yard on Titan Station orbited the gas giant in perpetual twilight, its metal corridors echoing with the clang of repairs and the hum of recycling units. Elsa Vortman had been working there for 3 standard years, her calloused, hands more familiar with plasma torches and quantum spanners than the soft diplomacy of the core worlds. She preferred it that way. Machines were honest, predictable, and never tried to kill you for existing. That changed when Princess Helen of the Zephyrian Empire crashed into Dock 7. The ship was unlike anything Elsa had seen before, a sleek, crystalline vessel that seemed to bend light around its edges. Steam hissed from its ruptured hull as emergency systems failed one by one. The docking bay's atmosphere processors screamed warnings as exotic particles leaked into the station's air supply. Helen emerged from the wreckage like a warrior goddess stepping from legend. Her skin held the faint luminescence common to her people, and her forearms moved with fluid grace despite the obvious pain etched across her angular features. Yaj, Zephyrians were apex predators from a high-gravity world, 7 feet tall with retractable claws and eyes that could track a photon's movement. Their empire spanned 12 sectors, and their military prowess was legendary. This particular Zephyrian looked ready to collapse. "Fix my gear," she demanded in accented standard, her voice carrying the harmonic overtones that made human ears ring. She gestured toward the smoking ruin of her ship with 2 of her arms, while the other 2 clutched what appeared to be a data core. "I will compensate you well." Elsa set down her plasma welder and approached cautiously. Station security had taught every worker to maintain distance from armed aliens, especially ones from warrior cultures. But Helen's ship wasn't just damaged, it was dying, its quantum matrices unraveling in real time. "That's not gear, Princess," Elsa said, recognizing the royal markings on the alien's armor. "That's a tomb. Those exotic matter containment fields are cascading. You've got maybe 6 minutes before the whole thing implodes and takes half the station with it." Helen's luminescent eyes narrowed. "You know our rank structures?" "I know death traps." Elsa was already moving, grabbing her emergency kit and a portable stasis field generator. "And I know how to stop them." What followed was 6 minutes of controlled chaos. While Helen provided technical specifications in rapid-fire Zephyrian, Elsa dove into the ship's bowels, rerouting power conduits and jury-rigging containment protocols that shouldn't have been possible with human technology. She bypassed 3 separate failsafes, overrode 2 AI systems, and somehow convinced the exotic matter to stabilize using nothing but a cargo net and some creative electromagnetic field manipulation. When the ship's death screams finally quieted, Helen stared at the human with something approaching wonder. "How?" she asked simply. Elsa wiped grease from her hands with a dirty rag. "Humans are good at fixing things that shouldn't be fixable. It's kind of our thing." Over the following days, as Helen waited for Imperial rescue ships, she observed Elsa's work with growing fascination. The human could repair Andromedian neural networks, convince Rigelian crystalline computers to accept organic interfaces, and somehow make a Procyon quantum drive run on standard antimatter. More importantly, she did it all with a casual competence that suggested such impossibilities were routine. "Your species confuses me," Helen admitted on the 3rd day, watching Elsa resurrect a dead mining drone with spare parts from 5 different civilizations. "The galactic consensus is that humans are primitive, useful for manual labor perhaps, but lacking in sophistication." Elsa laughed, a sound that made Helen's secondary heart skip. "Maybe we are primitive. But you know what primitives are really good at? Surviving when everything goes wrong." Helen had spent her life among the Empire's elite, surrounded by beings who viewed problem-solving as beneath their station. Technical work was for servant classes, yet here was this human, solving impossible problems with nothing but intuition and stubborn refusal to accept failure. "Would you?" Helen paused, her luminescence flickering with what Elsa was learning to recognize as nervousness. "Would you consider coming to the Imperial Court as my technical advisor?" Elsa raised an eyebrow. "Technical advisor?" "Consort," Helen corrected, her 4 hands gesturing in what her people considered a proposal ritual. "The Empire has laws about such things. A royal consort who proves their worth through exceptional service can claim equality of station. And fixing your ship counts as exceptional service? Fixing my ship when 3 Imperial engineers declared it irreparable? When our best AI systems calculated the probability of successful repair at 0.003%. Helen's eyes blazed with something fierce and proud. Elsa Vortman, you didn't just fix my gear. You performed what my people would call a miracle. The rescue ships arrived 2 days later, a full Imperial squadron that treated Helen's survival as a cause for system-wide celebration. As they prepared to depart, Helen made her formal request to the Admiral of the fleet. I claim right of consort selection, she announced, her voice carrying across the docking bay's comm system. This human has proven worthy through technical mastery beyond the scope of our own engineers. The Admiral, a grizzled Zephyrian with scars from a dozen campaigns, looked from Helen to Elsa with obvious skepticism. A human? As royal consort? The court will see that she accomplished what our finest minds could not, Helen interrupted. She saved a princess of the blood using nothing but human ingenuity. Is that not the very definition of worthiness? Elsa found herself the center of attention from a dozen alien warriors, each capable of tearing her apart without effort. But Helen stood beside her, 4 arms crossed in a gesture of absolute certainty. Well? Helen asked quietly. Ready to find out what other impossible things you can fix? Elsa looked at the princess, this fierce, brilliant alien who saw potential where others saw primitiveness. Then she looked at her salvage yard, at the endless stream of broken things that would always need fixing. Yeah, she said, shouldering her toolkit. But I'm bringing my gear. As their ship jumped to hyperspace, carrying them toward the heart of the Zephyrian Empire, Helen watched Elsa work on upgrading the vessel's shield generators with obvious modifications that no Imperial engineer would have attempted. You know, Helen said, when I first asked you to fix my gear, I never imagined it would lead to this. Elsa grinned, her hands deep in alien circuitry. That's the thing about humans, princess. We're really good at exceeding expectations. Behind them, the stars wheeled past, carrying them toward a future where human ingenuity would reshape the galaxy, one impossible repair at a time.